Started as an actor when I was 7 years old. My dad, who was the musical director for the LA Civic Light Opera House in California, he was the musical director, and he cast me as one of the children in The King and I, which is, I don't know if anybody may remember, The King and I is a musical about an Asian family, and so I was one of the Asian children. That's what you get for having a father who's musical director.
So your life in theater began.
Yeah, at 7 years old. Isn't that funny? And now I'm 49. I'll be 50 in March of next year. So that's, 40, I don't add, 42 years? Is that right? 42! I'm awesome.
So how did your career kind of go from theater to what you're doing now?
I started singing because I needed to eat. And I never thought of myself as a singer ever. I still don't really consider myself a singer. I'm loud. That's really all I am. But I got laryngitis. I got so I couldn't act. I couldn't speak. And one of my producers, who was a really good friend of mine, said, well, you should talk and, do funny songs and, stuff like that. And then you don't really have to use your voice so much. You can just, and I thought, oh, do people do that? And he's like, yeah. And I went, oh, okay. So I started doing it. It's so ridiculous. So I started doing it in Chicago. And I did that, and then I started adding songs, like my favorite songs that I sang, and then I just started singing, and then it just happened. I was like 28 or 9 or something, I guess.
Okay. And do you ever do any just like regular acting anymore?
I do. I still act occasionally. I have a show that's called Katie's Corner. You can look it up on YouTube. You can go on YouTube and type in Katie's Corner, spelled with a K. It's an impersonation of Katharine Hepburn. You familiar with Katharine Hepburn? Please tell me you're familiar with it. Thank God. And it's as if Katharine Hepburn had a talk show. And it's all improvised. So it's like an hour and a half of just improvised silliness. So I do that. I was born in LA. I was born in Inglewood, California. And I lived there for then we moved all over LA until I was about 10. And then I moved to Chicago and saw snow, which was depressing. Horrible. Then I lived there for, 35 years, probably. And then we just moved back to LA. I did a movie, my first movie, with Katherine Heigl called Romeo and Michelle in the Beginning. Don't rent it. But yeah. And then I flew out here to do that movie. And then my wife and I kind of went, why aren't we living in LA? Because it's sunny. And people have pools, and everybody's lips are huge. No, but we why don't we live out here? And so we moved like 5 years ago. And that's what we did.
What's your favorite part of the show?
I don't know. When I get to talk to the audience. When I get to talk to them. And it's always funny because when I talk to them, they go, we're the audience, don't talk to us. It makes me really happy. Everybody gets freaked out. I like to freak people out. It's bad, isn't it? I like to freak them out.